welcome back to the channel. You've been rocking with this journey, then you already know this isn't surface level motivation. This is real life, real responsibility, the kind that doesn't always get applause. In the last series, we talked about stepping into a blended family, understanding your role, earning respect, and learning how to love without conditions. But nobody really talks about what happens after that. When the weight settles in, when the reality of leading every day starts to hit. This series is called Holding It Together, Leading When It Gets Heavy. And today, we're starting with something a lot of men feel, but don't say out loud. What do you do when you feel unappreciated, but still have to lead? Feeling overlooked, unacknowledged, or taken for granted? I've had moments where I looked around and thought, does anybody even see what I'm doing? You're showing up, providing, trying to lead the right way, but it feels like it just blends into the background. There's no recognition, no acknowledgement, no moment where someone stops and says, I see you. And if you're not careful, that feeling starts to grow into something heavier. It turns into frustration, then into resentment, because deep down you're thinking, I'm giving everything I've got, and it feels like it doesn't matter. It's like being the foundation of a house. Everything stands because of you, but nobody ever compliments the foundation. They admire the walls, the design, the surface level things, but not what's holding everything up. And over time, that silence can feel like weight pressing down on you. The silent frustration of pouring in without feedback. There's a different kind of pressure that comes from pouring into something without feedback. You're investing time, energy, patience, but there's no clear return, no signal telling you you're on the right path. That silence can make you question yourself. You start asking, am I doing enough? Am I doing it right? Does this even matter? It's like planting seeds in the ground and checking every day for growth, only to see nothing. After a while, you begin to doubt the process, even though the process is still working. Because what you don't see is what's happening beneath the surface. Roots are forming, structure is building, something is growing in silence. And a lot of what you're building as a man, especially in a blended family, happens underground before it ever shows up above it. Why chasing appreciation weakens your position. This was one of the hardest truths for me to accept. The moment you start chasing appreciation, you weaken your position as a leader. Because now, your effort becomes conditional. You show up based on how you feel, you lead based on how you're treated, and you give based on what you receive. That's not leadership. That's negotiation. It's like a man rowing a boat, but only rowing when someone is cheering him on. The moment the applause stops, he stops moving, and now the boat begins to drift. Everyone in it feels the lack of direction. That's what happens when appreciation becomes your fuel. Appreciation is inconsistent, but purpose isn't. And if you don't learn how to separate the two, your leadership will always be unstable, leading from purpose instead of emotion. I had to shift from leading based on emotion to leading based on purpose, because emotions change constantly. One day you feel strong, the next day you feel drained. One moment you feel motivated, the next you feel overlooked. If your leadership is tied to how you feel, then it will always fluctuate. But when it's tied to purpose, it becomes steady. It's like a compass in the middle of a storm. The winds may shift, the pressure may rise, the environment may feel chaotic, but the compass still points in the same direction. That's what purpose does. It anchors you. So even when you don't feel appreciated, even when it feels like your effort is invisible, you still show up, not because of how you feel, but because of who you've decided to be. Staying grounded when nobody claps. This is where real leadership is built. It's not in front of people, not in moments of recognition, but in silence. When nobody is clapping, when nobody is watching, when it feels like your effort is going unnoticed, can you still stand? Can you still lead? Can you still show up with consistency? It's like a man training in the dark, with no cameras, no audience, no validation. Just repetition, just discipline. And over time, that unseen work becomes visible strength. That's what's happening in your life, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. Even if nobody acknowledges it, you are building something. And that kind of strength doesn't come from attention, it comes from consistency. So as we close this episode, if you're in that place right now, it's feeling overlooked, unappreciated, like your effort isn't being seen, understand this. Your value isn't determined by recognition, it's revealed through consistency. The man who can lead even when it feels like nobody notices is operating at a different level. So the real question is, are you leading for appreciation, or are you leading from purpose? If this message hit you, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a comment. I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt unappreciated while trying to lead? How did you handle it? Also, like the video, so this message reaches more men who need it. Share it with someone who might be carrying this same weight in silence. And most importantly, subscribe. We're on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers. And if this kind of real, honest conversation is helping you grow, I want you to be part of that journey. This is the Ordinary Guy 2.0, Responsibility Before Ego. See you next time.